because I'm going to be standing at the table. And we're just going to wait for that one to start. Okay. Hello, everybody. Welcome to Science Night. I'm Ryan.
Tabitha again, yay!
This is Tabitha again, yay. We're coming to you from outside this time because
Yes,
it's... What?
Good for you, and I like it.
Yes, we've been playing in the hose, as you can tell.
Yeah, that's because my hair is a little wet.
Yeah. And because it's warm, some would say hot, outside now, we've decided to do an activity that would be really good for doing outside, and we are going to teach you about making your own bubbles and some cool activities you can do with bubbles. So, for this, what you're going to want is you're going to want a bucket or a bowl or something like that with some water in it. I use about 2 cups, but use, however much you want. And you're going to need dish soap, just like we did last week.
Yay, dish soap! Yay, dish soap!
If you stand over there, they can't see what's going on the table, okay? Now, if you want to make extra awesome bubbles, now you can make bubbles just with dish soap and water, that's fine. But if you want to make extra awesome bubbles, you can get sugar, some sugar, and the best thing to do, glycerin. So, glycerin is a kind of very thick liquid, and you can get this at the craft store, in the candle making section. I know we can't go to stores and stuff like that, but you can order this online. It's fairly easy to get glycerin these days. If you don't have it, don't worry about it. Sugar works great just on its own. The reason that we're using glycerin and sugar is that it lessens the amount of, or it increases the amount of time it takes for the water in the bubble to evaporate, and that's what we want not to happen. Bubbles pop when the water evaporates, and the things that are holding the bubble together no longer has that structure. So what you do is you take your water in here. Like I said, I use about 2 cups, but you can use whatever. Now, I may not give you, moms and dads, you can listen to the proportions I'm using, but the fun thing about making bubbles is about testing bubbles. And so you can test how much dish soap you put in to make really good bubbles, how much sugar makes really good bubbles, how much glycerin makes really good bubbles, and come up with your own recipe. You just need those 4 things. So I'm going to put in about 2 tablespoons of dish soap, but you can put in however much you want. So nice. Sort of, yeah, I'll do a little bit more. Okay. I'm going to put in 2 teaspoons of sugar.
Can I put sugar?
Sure you can. And I'm putting in 2 tablespoons of glycerin.
Can I put in some?
I don't think you know how much a tablespoon is. Okay. And then, if you want to put in food coloring, you can get slightly colored bubbles, which will be cool for when we do our bubble snake in a little bit. And we can mix them together. Now, if you don't have a bubble wand, and yeah, you can mix it. Now, I'm guessing that everyone has a bubble wand somewhere. But if you don't have a bubble wand, there's a couple things you can do. We have pipe cleaners, make great bubble wands. And keep mixing it up. And in fact, your fingers can also make a bubble wand. You can dip your fingers in there, blow straight through them, and you can make a bubble wand like that. It's a little harder, and you do want to have used some glycerin to do that kind, because you really need a very stable, sort of bouncy bubble.
Can you see how it's getting a little green?
Yeah, because we added the green food coloring. Now, by far, my personal favorite bubble wand is, I know not everyone has these, to take a pipette. And what you do is you cut off the top, like that. Pop. And this is an excellent bubble wand because it gives a lot of surface area for the bubbles, and it helps regulate your breathing going through. So let's see how our bubble mixture is. Yeah, that's a nice bubble.
Can I try?
Sure. Other side. So good example. So you breathe through the little end, and the bubble mixture goes at the big end. Yeah. Very good. Okay, so do it one more time, Tabs. And the more stable your bubble is, they may actually land on your hand. And if you wet your hand with bubble mixture, it'll actually help the bubble stay on there a little bit better. So let's see if we can do this.
If you do it a long time, you get a big bubble. Try that. Can I try it again? It's fun.
I'm trying not to pop them, Tabs. All right. Well,
Is it my turn?
when you get a stable bubble, we can actually put a little bit on our table over here. So what we're looking for is you want to get a bubble that sort of connects to a surface. And when you do that, there you go. I don't know if you can see this, but there's a bubble on the surface over here. And with a wide brim thing like a pipette, you can actually put it into the bubble and blow a second bubble inside the first bubble. In here. And there's a second bubble.
On the side of it.
Well, it actually starts in the middle, but it catches on to the side. So let's see if I can do it again. Guys, I'm not sure if you can see this, but...
Try this so I can be a big girl. Can I maybe try being a big girl?
Sure.
You're a big girl.
She's going to try being a big girl. You want to blow kind of gently. And any wet, smooth surface is really good for this. It will occasionally catch to the outside of the bubble and make a second bubble there. But if you get it right in the middle, you may be able to get a second bubble inside that one. And that also can happen. So we've been doing it successfully, but it keeps catching to the side. You can actually do it while the bubble's in the air, too. You have to be fairly skilled to do this, which I am not. But okay, so the next thing we're gonna show you is how to make your own bubble wand. So Tabby, why don't you try to make your own bubble wand out of these, and I will do that as well. So bubbles, when they're well, you know when you use a regular bubble wand, the bubble spreads out and it covers the whole opening of the bubble wand, right? The whole circle. Well, if your bubble wand is a non-traditional shape, it will still do that. It will still spread out across that that opening that you have. So I'm making a triangle right now.
I made an oval.
You made an oval. Great. Why don't you try blowing some bubbles in there?
Oh, you're making a heart.
No, I'm making a triangle, and what I'm trying to do is actually make a pyramid. Now this is with...
Can I try blowing my bubble wand?
Sure, you can try blowing your bubble wand. So with pipe cleaners, this is a little bit difficult. But if you have Tinker Toys, anyone that still has Tinker Toys are awesome for making bubble wands. Maybe let's blow the bubbles a little farther back from the computer so we don't get the bubble mixture on the computers.
Why?
Because then it will make them not work anymore, sweetheart.
Daddy, I finally did it!
You did it! That was awesome!
Yay!
So I'm trying to make like
Make nothing.
fairly unsuccessful pyramid over here. But if you have Tinker Toys, if you have straws and tape, we don't have straws. And we don't have Tinker Toys, unfortunately. We really should probably have some Tinker Toys, shouldn't we? I don't know. Kids still have Tinker Toys? Who knows? Legos are a little bit too rigid to work, but they do work sometimes. So I just made a little kind of structure here. But if I cover this in bubbles, you'll see that it's actually adhering to multiple sides. And if you can get it to adhere to multiple sides, you can blow a bubble in here. And it will, if you say used a cube for this, it'll actually make a cube inside the cube. So there, we got a little geometric shape.
I made a little mirror.
Beautiful.
What are you doing?
Blowing bubbles inside the bubble.
Ow. But it's
Like
not
that.
even growing out.
Yeah, I know. It gets absorbed inside.
I made,
And you can make a few in there.
hello, I made a mirror.
Very cool. So if you see right here, there's actually a triangular bubble inside these bubbles.
It's kind of broke, so I'm
That's cool. Now, we've got one more cool thing to show you, and that is a bubble snake. Now, what you need to make a bubble snake, very easy to do at home, is to take a bottle. So normally I would use a plastic soda bottle or something like that, but we don't have any, and I couldn't go to the store today because, quarantine. So I use the top of a shampoo bottle, and I cut the bottom off. So you want to have a big opening here and a little opening where you blow, just like the pipette. You have a little opening where you blow and a big opening where the bubble comes out.
Look, it looks like a mirror.
It does look like a mirror. And so you can put...
There's a big bubble in there.
Now, rags work really well for this. Paper towels work well for this. Very good.
A big bubble, a big
Rags
bubble,
sometimes
like
work a
big
little bit better than paper towels, but I figured everyone has paper towels, not everyone has a rag lying around, so we're going to do this. And then I'm using a hair tie to go around here, but you can use a rubber band, anything like that. And so you just want the outside where the bubble is, and make it, as tight as possible to cover this in this. And what happens is that your air, you're going to coat this in bubbles, so we'll dunk it down there. And then as you blow through it, it's going to use all the tiny little holes that are in paper towels or in a rag to create little thousands of mini little bubble wands. Now Tabby's running away for this part, which is good because I'm using food coloring and I don't want her to do it. But you can actually make rainbow bubbles by taking a little bit of food coloring
And adding it with
and striping it along here. So we can make, there's a little bit of green, and a little bit of red. I'm not doing this in rainbow order. Now it looks a little Christmassy. And I'll do a couple other ones so you can see what this looks like. Oh, that's greening. Oh, no, that's yellow. That's just, we got green on it. So there's some yellow. And one more color. Do a little bit of blue. Okay. So then, Tabby, you want to see the bubble snake? So then what I'll do is I'll take my bubble snake maker, dip it in the bubble solution. I'm going to blow through it. And of course it's going to these terrible paper towels.
I made a height one.
Very nice. I'm going to break a little bit.
Try making heart bubbles.
I advise you not to use the worst paper towels in the world to do this, as I am. Let's see if I can get this to work now. You see that? And what it'll do, especially if you're using better paper towels.
Oh, I didn't make a heart bubble. I made a round bubble, and it went over there, and it popped.
Oh, is it'll make all these giant bubble snakes. Now you can make a really long bubble snake with this if you have better paper towels than we do. You can double it up over here, but sometimes it doesn't create as much tension as it needs to really get that right. But I'll try it just so there's something I have to show you. So we can double up paper towels a little bit. Fold this over and see if it'll give us a little bit stronger so I can make you
should I do, Dad?
slightly better.
What shape?
Why don't you try to make an ancient pyramid? You love ancient pyramids, right? See if I can get you a nice good one.
Are you making me one? Can I touch?
Yep, can you move out of the way? And you get a giant bubble snake like that.
Can I?
There we go. Bubble snake. All over my face. All right, come over here and let's say goodbye. So, thank you for joining us this week while we looked at some bubbles. It was nice to see everybody. As always, if you've made anything that we've done tonight and you want to show us what you've made, please send it to us. Here, you can play with it now. Please send it to us. We love to see it. If you have suggestions for other science nights that you'd like us to do, or crafts you'd like us to try, or experiments you want us to do, you can send a message to us on Instagram or Facebook, or you can email Ryan at Desmond-Fish-Library.org. So from me and Tabby, have a great night. Stay safe, have fun with bubbles, learn about science, wash your hands, say hi to somebody who might be lonely, and we will see you in person really soon. And we'll see you virtually right back here next week at 6 o'clock. Bye, everybody.